we are learning this art of shorthand to write the words as quickly as they are pronounced. In this way, we have consonantal strokes and vowel signs with which we can write the outlines for the words. Framing of outlines using consonantal forms and inserting vowel signs for words takes much time. As I earlier pointed out, the examples like this, it will be very big. Therefore, we want to reduce the size of the outline. For that, we have several methods to size the outline, to abridge the size of the outlines, so that the size of the outline will be very less and we can write the outlines quickly within the time the word is pronounced. There are several methods to reduce the size of the outline. There are several methods to abridge the size of the outline. While learning the basic forms of consonants, we have provided alternative forms. In the first lesson itself, we have used the method of providing alternative forms. For example, R. The consonant R is provided with two forms, R and Re, R and Re, so that the convenient form can be used. Similarly, for the consonant He, two forms are provided. For aspirate, two forms are provided. One is written downward and another is written upward. Alternative forms can be used quickly. In the method of alternative forms, L basic form is written upward and sometimes downward form is also used alternatively. There are such rules, of course. Then Ish is written downward and sometimes upward also. For example, dash, D. After D, Ish is written upward. Like that, alternative forms are provided to write the outlines quickly when convenient. So, the method of using alternative forms we have already introduced. Then, the second method of writing the outline quickly, position writing. We have introduced this method, position writing. The outlines are written in three positions. So, whenever we look at the outline by its position, we can easily read, even if the vowel signs are not placed. Then, another method, logograms. Frequently occurring words are represented by single signs. We need not put vowel signs, and in that outline there may not be more consonantal forms. By single sign we represent the word so that the word can be written quickly. Then we have already introduced abbreviating devices. For example, initial way is represented by a right semicircle. That means way, the consonant way is represented now with the two forms. This is the basic consonantal forms. This is basic consonantal form and this is abbreviative form of way. So, by using this abbreviative form, we can write the word quickly. Then, we have introduced phrasing, writing two or more words together without lifting the pencil. We can write the words quickly. So, that is the phrasing is another method by writing the words. In this method of abbreviating devices, we are going to introduce today a new device, a new method to represent the consonant sound. The consonants S and Z are not only represented by the basic forms, basic strokes, but also by a small circle. A small circle. A small circle represents S or Z. That means we are providing a new device, an alternative way, an alternative method of representing the consonant S or Z. S or Z. You know already the motions of circle. This is called left motion and this is called right motion. Clockwise motion is called right motion. Anti-clockwise motion is called left motion. A small circle represents S or Z. This is a small circle, not large circle. A small circle represents S. Represents S initially, medially and finally. Small circle represents S initially, medially and finally. Medially and finally, the small circle represents Z also. A small circle represents S initially, medially and finally in a word. A small circle represents S. A small circle represents S initially, medially and finally. The small circle represents Z also, medially and finally. That means initially the small circle represents S only. Initially in a word, initially the small circle represents S only. Medially and finally the small circle represents S or Z. S or Z. Initially Z is written with the stroke only. Zero, zero, zero. Zeal, zeal. When standing alone, the circle is written with left motion like this. I am showing you in big size like this, left motion, isn't it? So the circle is written with left motion like this only when standing alone. Suppose I want to ask you to write the circle. Like this you will have to write. Not like this. Only with left motion. When standing alone. When standing alone, the circle is written with left motion. As I said, the small circle represents S. Initially, medially and finally. The circle is written with left motion when attached with straight strokes. Example, sad, at. Now with left motion when attached to straight strokes. Sad. We'll have to write like this. Not big, small circle. Okay, I'm showing the method of writing the circle. So, above the line, because the first sounded vowel is the first place vowel. Sit. Sit. Stay. Soap. Soap. Circle is written with left motion. Tease. Tease. T. Now put the circle. Small circle. Circle is attached. Tasty. 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 T is T. Tasty. 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 Above this is the line. Tasty. 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 Bus. Bus. Finally, this is the sound also. Small circle represents this is also. Tease. Tease. This is the sound. Circle represents this is also. Finally, this is also. The small circle but S or Z. S or Z. Tease, tease. Next rule. The circle is written inside the curves. So the small circle is written inside the curves. Size. The circle when standing alone written with left motion. Okay. Then when it is attached to straight strokes, it is written with the left motion. Nose. Yeah? Inside. Isn't it? This is suppose Jan inside. This is outside. Not like this. Inside. Desire. Desire. Now, this is curve, so it is written. It is written like this. Desire. Medially, small circle represents is also. Desire. I. Suppose I. Now add a circle because inside the circle, then write D. Desire. Okay, like this. Source. S initially, O, R, S finally. So the small circle represents initially S, finally source. The circle is written outside the angle formed by two straight strokes. For example, desk. D is K. Desk. So D K. Medium circle. So it should be written, this is the angle. This is the angle. Now outside the angle, this side we will have to write desk. Desk. Risk. Suppose this is the line. Risk. Risk. Now putting the vowel sign here only, because the next stroke is an abbreviative form. So for a circle, there won't be vowel places. Suppose if you put here, it will be right before K, ik. Therefore, this should be placed here only. Justice. It is justice. 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 Outside the angle. This is the angle. Outside the angle. Circle is written formed by two straight strokes. If there are two straight strokes, the circle is written outside the angle. Outside the angle. The circle is written with left motion when joined to straight strokes having no angle. When joined to straight strokes not forming an angle. For example, tasty. Suppose ta is T, tasty. Here there is no question of the angle. So when there is no angle, then you can write with left motion like this. Left motion. Okay. Left motion like this. Left motion. Why is that? Suppose where? Why is that? Why is that? That means no angle. If there is an angle like this, outside the angle, we can say when there is an angle, the circle is done outside it. When the straight strokes not forming any angle, so the circle is written with left motion. Where? Left motion. Like this. Like this. Left motion. Suppose bus. There is no angle. Repeat the rules once again. A small circle represents S or Z. The small circle initially, medially and finally in a word represents S. Medially and finally it also represents Z. In the word, initial sound of Z should be written with the stroke only. Specifies. In this word, the initial sound, medial sound of S, final sound of S, initially, medially and finally. This can be represented by a small circle. By a small circle. A small circle represents S initially, medially and finally. In a word, in a word, the initial sound of the consonant S, medial sound of S, final S. This can be represented by the small circle. The small circle. The small circle also represents Z medially and finally. It represents S or Z medially and finally. S or Z. For example, busyness. Here the sound is Z. Z. Medial. Medial Z. So, medially in a word, the small circle represents S or Z. Finds. It is not finds. Finds. So, this is Z. Final. Cause. Cause. Here the sound is Z. So, in this word, cause Z. So, the final sound of Z. So, a small circle represents S. Initially in a word, medially in a word, finally in a word. So, small circle represents S initially, medially and finally. The small circle also represents Z medially and finally only, not initially. Suppose Z comes initially, then you will have to write the stroke only. 0. 0. So, initial sound of Z should be represented by the stroke only and not the circle. The small circle is written inside the curves. Size. Inside the curves. Nose. Less. Like this. Business. Inside the curve. The small circle is written inside the curves, outside the angle formed by two straight strokes. Suppose desk.
D circles K. D circles K. Now circle is written outside the angle, that is the angle. This is outside. Circle is written outside the angle. Risk. Ray circles K. The circle is written outside the angle. This is the angle, that is outside. So, circle is written outside the angle when formed by two straight strokes. The circle is written outside the angle formed by two straight strokes.
Suppose there is no angle. In such cases, the small circle is written with left motion. Tasty. Here, the angle is, we cannot say this side and that side. Everything everywhere is 90 degrees. So, in other cases, circle is written with left motion. The small circle is written inside the curves, outside the angle formed by two straight strokes, and in other cases with left motion. When standing alone, circle is written with left motion. Okay, I will show it like this. Not large, just I am demonstrating the circle. When standing alone, a small circle is written with the left motion. When there is no angle formed by two straight strokes, this circle is written with left motion. Tasty. Cask, suppose. Cask, left motion only. See, a left motion circle, then if there is an angle, suppose risk. If there is angle, outside the angle, we can write. If there is no angle formed by two straight strokes, the circle is written with left motion. So, mainly the circle is written inside the curves, outside the angle formed by two straight strokes, and in other cases with left motion. The small circle can be used in logographs, can be attached with the logographs. For example, come. Come is written like this, come, comes. Put, puts, puts, comes, puts, like this. The circle can be attached. The circle can be attached to the logographs. Now, with regard to writing upward L or downward L, there is one rule here. L, whether upward L or downward L. L, when preceded or followed by a circle which is attached to a curve, L is written in the same direction as the circle. With regard to the direction of writing the circle as well as the stroke L, whether upward L or downward L, this rule says L, so that means L constant must be there in the word. In the word, L will be there. Preceded or followed by a circle. Here, circle must be there. This circle must have a curve. Curve means F, B, it, D, S, Z, Ish, G, M, N, E, L, R. These are all curves, isn't it? Any curve, L, before or after, there will be a circle. That means S will come. S will come. The constant S. Preceded or followed by a circle. L, when preceded or followed by a circle which is attached to a curve. When I give the example, you can understand. Lesson, suppose. Now L. After L, there is S. Medial S. So, this is circle. This circle is attached with a curve, N. That means sun. Now you see the circle, the direction of the circle, with which motion, which direction, left or right, we need not think. Now, sun, it is written like this. Now, downward L is convenient. So, let's see like this. Because both are curves. Inside the curve means in which curve the circle should be written inside. So, with regard to L, L when preceded or followed. Here, followed, L is there, L. Here, L is there. Whether now the question is L, upward L or downward L. This will be decided by the circle attached to the curve. So, the condition is L must be there. Then, after that, constant S. And it should be represented by the circle. And that circle is attached with a curve. Then, you will have to write either upward L or downward L. It will be decided by the direction of the circle. Lesson. Lesson. Okay, lesson. Vessel. Here L is preceded by a, so this is here S is represented by a circle. Here upward L or downward L, it will be decided by the motion of the circle, the direction of the circle. So this is attached with V. See? Where? So now L has come. So write L like this. Vessel. Vessel. That means L is preceded by a circle. So before L, here in this example lesson, after L there is circus. Here before L there is circus. That circus is attached with a curve. That circus is attached with a curve. In such cases, you write the L, you choose either upward L or downward L as per the direction of the circle. In which direction you are writing the circle? Suppose like this. Whether it is the right motion or left motion need not think. The same motion you continue. The same direction you continue. So the direction of whether upward L or downward L, it will be decided by the direction of the circle. Vessel, like this. You know. So the rule says L when preceded or followed by a circle which is attached to a curve. L is written in the same direction as the circle. That is the rule. In the same direction as the circle. So it will be decided by the direction of the circle because it is attached to the curve. Curve and circle. Circle. Loser. You see? L. After L, circle. Followed by a circle. L followed by a circle which is attached to a curve. Loser. Here you have to put because you cannot put here before the second place at the end. You cannot put because S is not represented by a stroke. Circle will not have vowel places 1, 2, 3. Therefore, here. Loser. So join. Loser. That means it is written like this. So which is convenient? Upward L is convenient. Upward L is convenient. So that loser. That is correct. So the rule says whether L when preceded or followed by a circle which is attached to a curve, this L is written in the same direction as the circle. Circle in which direction you are writing? In the same direction this L should be written, whether upward or downward L. You see, L is also a curve, isn't it? Loosely. Loose. Loosely. L. Loosely. Now here S comes after L. Now the circle is attached to another L. The circle S is attached with another curve, that is L. So loosely. So L when preceded or followed by a circle which is attached to a curve is written in the same direction as the circle. Now L, circles, again L. So this L is written in the same direction as this circle is written.